my name is Jasmine, aka Black Girl Absolute. Today I'm going to show you how to paint the most iconic natural hairstyle and my absolute favorite to paint, Afros. So yeah, let's jump right in. So a good brush to use whenever you're painting an afro would be something along this thickness. So this kind of brush would cover a lot of ground in a painting depending on the size of the painting itself. A technique that you want to keep in mind whenever painting afro textured hair is sort of this back and forth motion. One, it relates to something like an S-curl pattern in hair. So this sort of zigzag motion is going to reflect what an actual strand of hair is going to look like. But if you're going for an O-curl or, hair that's more of like a spring shape, you can alternate that to, instead of going up and down like this, you can kind of rotate it a bit on the canvas. So you're still maintaining, at the base it's going to be a little bit wider, and then it gets a little bit more controlled once you get to the tip of the hair. So one thing you want to avoid whenever you're drawing hair of this texture is that you want to make sure that you are not essentially just painting a sphere. So there's hair of different lengths, there's hair of different curl patterns, that's all encompassed within this one head of hair. And so you want to make sure that whenever you're painting that you're also reflecting that. And so you see it's still following the general shape of a sphere going around the circumference of her head. There is parts here in which it's not just a continuous line. So there's hair of different lengths, different textures sort of poking out there. If the curl pattern is a little bit looser that you're trying to go for, you want to use a smaller brush than one that you would use for a tighter curl pattern, and you'd want to go just a little bit slower with this back and forth motion. This even smaller brush here. As long as you get it wet, you can really loosen up the curl pattern, as you can see down here. So you see, this is a lot looser than over here. And as you can see here, I left just a bit of a ring here, just so I can finish painting in the details of the face. But say this was all painted in from here, I would just add a bit of a hairline here. And so if you're going more for this look, you want to just make sure that you are feathering out, which this isn't perfect because this angle is a little bit awkward. So again, as long as you are consistent relatively in length around the entire afro, it'll look fine no matter how big you make it. Because again, there are people with afros that are just like out to here, and then there are people with like, my afro has gotten actually a little bit longer, but TWAs are teeny weeny afro, friends, they also exist. You want to make sure that you are at least conforming to the shape of the head around the afro. Again, don't worry, there's a lot of work I still have to do on this painting, so I can easily cover this up. You want to make sure that you are respecting this. This is kind of like the hard boundary, so you don't want it to go any further in than this. And then if it is like a teeny weeny afro, you want to make sure that it is really conforming to the shape of her skull. Special guest, Sophia the cat. I don't know if it's... Angle this down. Oh, and she's going to get into the paint, so... Alright, so this next step is completely optional. I've given this some time to dry, except for this little white line here that we drew in before. So I'm just going to spread that out to help that dry just a little bit faster. So this is based on your personal preference, whether or not you want to add in some highlights to the afro. Personally, I love a completely matte black afro. There's something about it that really brings in attention. Usually I would just give this another layer of black paint, just to fill in any sort of transparent marks that still exist on the hair itself. But if I were to add in some highlights, there's two separate ways that you can go. You can go the tricolor method, which I'm gonna link to it, my how to paint a braid video. That goes into detail with using 3 different colors to make a very dynamic highlight. I suggest you watch that if you haven't already. But a really simple way to add in some highlights is to use basically a very muted gray shade. So for natural hair, as it has a lot of different curls and kinks, it's not going to have a very solid highlight like you would see in straighter hair. The highlight's going to be a little bit more diffuse. I would use a warm gray color, like you can see here. And so very similarly to that how to paint a braid video, you want to identify where the light is coming from. So here we have some shadow that's coming down from her glasses here. So we can expect that the light is coming somewhere from this angle up here. You want to take that and starting from the area where the light's going to be most present, you just kind of want to dot it in there. So this is going to start out very thick at first. There's going to be, you know, little dips in the hair where the hair is going to get a little bit darker. That's where the hair is going to be a little shorter, is where you're going to see these dips like this. And so be sure to throw a few of those in there just to make it look a little bit more realistic. Once you have an idea of where all of your highlight shades are going to go, you're going to go back in with the base color of your hair, which in this case is going to be Mars Black. And you're just going to kind of work that black in just to diffuse your highlight. So you don't want to do it completely. You don't want to completely shade it in. You kind of just want to push the black on top of this gray color. You still want on the upper edge here to still almost be fully that, you know, warm gray shade. And so I want to thank Danny Shot Everett for giving me the idea of going into more natural hair videos to show you how to paint more natural hairstyles. I'm going to paint some more, but I wanted to focus on my favorite just because I love painting afros so much. Like, I think 90% of my hairstyles and paintings are afros. They're super easy, and I hope this was a very welcoming way for you to find your way into painting them yourself. As always, you are enough, and take care. Bye! Hi y'all, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like this down below and to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this in the future. Catch you later!